Good afternoon, welcome to Viking Mountain Ranch. Well, today I'm going to show you how to incubate chicken eggs. Incubate eggs. So with the egg shortage and the chicken shortage and all of that kind of stuff, you can actually incubate your own eggs and in 21 days have little baby chicks. So all you need are, of course, is an incubator, and I'm going to show you mine. It's a great incubator, never had a problem, and I've hatched many chickens and ducks and things like that. I haven't done turkeys or anything, but just chickens and ducks. And they hatch every time perfectly. So you need fertile eggs, and you can get that a lot of times from like on Facebook groups. You know, you could put out on bulletin boards requests for fertile eggs. I'm selling my fertile eggs as well, but let me show you how to do this. So this is the incubator that I have. It's Harris Farms. It's called Nurture Right 360. Okay, and so what this is going to do, let me plug it in here. Alright, so not only does it incubate the eggs, but it also turns the eggs for you, because every couple hours the eggs have to be turned so the embryo that's inside doesn't stick to the shell. It's also going to keep the right temperature. It's going to tell you the percentage of moisture, and it's going to count down the days for you. And it also has a built-in little light where when you want to find out if the egg is growing or how fertile it is, you take the egg and you go into a dark room, you put it right here like that, and then you press this button and the light comes on and you can actually see inside. Right now you're not going to be able to see anything because it's not... This egg was just laid today, so there's nothing really to see. But in about 3 days in the incubator, you can start seeing the little red spot and how the little embryo is actually growing and developing on the inside. And you can also tell when an egg is not growing, and then you can throw it out, or if the egg has gone bad, you can also see. So like you could see almost right through that shell. Lighter eggs are of course better to see through than the darker eggs. The darker eggs a little bit harder to see. But in 21 days the chicken eggs will hatch, and 28 days duck eggs will hatch. So I'm going to put some of these in here, and I'm going to get them going. Turn that off right there. Alrighty. So you're just going to take the eggs and then you're going to lay them in here like that till they're all in there. I'm not going to do it all. And then what happens is this turns. Now you're going to fill it with water so it can have moisture, and then this little dial, it's going to turn, and as it turns it's going to roll these eggs. So every couple hours you'll hear it crank up and it'll turn, and that way it keeps you know, the little embryo from sticking on the shell on the inside, because when a little baby you know, chicken is hatching, you don't want it to be stuck to the shell because sometimes it can kill it. The other thing is, if you didn't have it turning, you'd have to do it yourself. Like every 4 to 6 hours you have to come and turn. What I used to do before I had a turner is you could draw like a little line on it, and then you know which way you turned it. So a little arrow on the outside, you'll know. But this does it all for you. You don't really have to do anything except check the moisture content, you know, every day. Make sure there's enough water because it does evaporate. So you just pour the water directly in here. So it should be fun. It's always a fun thing. And then on the last 3 days before the little chickens are going to hatch, what happens is it stops turning. So it's called locking it down. So it locks it down. It doesn't turn anymore. And that way the little baby, you can hear them chirping. I mean, you can start hearing chirping about 3 days before they hatch. So it's pretty cool. And then when they start hatching, you'll see little blips, they call it, where the little baby in there will peck the inside of the egg and it'll pop open. And so that's a real fun time, especially if you have children. They absolutely love that part. And then when you have this, all the eggs hatch, so you have 22 little baby chicks in here. Usually they hatch on the exact same day. It may take up to 3 days to hatch them all. And there have been one time where one of the babies just didn't make it. That happens in nature, so that's a pretty good percentage. But I think this is a great incubator. It's very. Also, I wanted to mention is before you put the eggs into the incubator, don't wash them, because you want to keep that bloom. That's what it's called. It's the secretion that comes from the chicken. It's a protective layer that allows bacteria from actually seeping through the shell, but does allow oxygen to come through the shell. So don't wash your eggs before you put them in there. If they are really soiled, you can take a little corner of a paper towel, wet it a little bit, and just wipe that little soil part off, but don't wash it off. So you want to keep that protection. There have been cases where a chicken can die from a bacterial infection because of what comes through the egg if it's washed off. So you don't want to wash that off. All right? Okay, so we're out here on the big field. The wind is supposed to be only 7 miles an hour today. Pretty calm to burn, so figured this is the best day to burn. The rest of the week's going to be high wind, so hopefully it won't get out of control today. So we have quite a bit to burn. We have everything standing by. We filled up the bucket on the tractor with water. We brought it over here now. We have all of this to scoop up and burn. And I'm going to take the ashes after it's all burned and cool and spread it over the field. So the wind has picked up a little bit, which we didn't want. And we're having little twisters, little tiny tornadoes kicking up. Interesting fact, did you know that in the northern hemisphere where we are now, that 99% of all little tornadoes or twisters, they spin in the counterclockwise direction? The 1% is something called an anti-cyclonic direction, and that will spin in the clockwise. No one really knows why, but in the southern hemisphere, tornadoes spin clockwise. So it's a fascinating thought to think why and how it does this, and how does it even know, and where is this information kept. But just something to think about when you're sitting here watching a fire burning and then you see these little tornadoes kick up. About 10 days ago we had an EF2 massive tornado come through here, rip through and tear up a lot of the neighbors' barns and homes and things like that. We were spared, thank goodness, but they are very destructive. I mean, I'm used to hurricanes, but tornadoes are, and they seem to come in the middle of the night, so not a fun thing. I remember I was listening to the storm, and then next thing you know, the tornado comes through. I couldn't see a thing, but I heard it, and then my neighbor texted me and said, "We just got hit with a tornado, are you okay?" And that was a first for me. But the fire's doing pretty well. The wind's coming and going. So as soon as this burns down a little bit more, we're going to push this pile right here into it and continue the burn as long as the wind cooperates. I got to get in the skid steer, move some logs. Here we go. Right here on my lap. of a nice tree we don't want to burn, so we're going to take it. We're going to put it over here in this pile. We've been out here all day getting this done. The sun's, I mean, it's pretty much in the afternoon. I'm not sure what time it is, but it's probably around 4. And we got quite a bit burned. This thing has been reduced about 5 times. So we figure we'll burn this much more, and that'll be enough for the night. We get started again in the morning. As with everything, so now we have a hydraulic leak on the bulldozer there, so he can't use it very much. So the only thing he can really push right now is things that are not on fire, because we don't want to have an accident and it catch fire. We're going to try to push that pile into that pile. Komatsu is a pretty powerful machine. What a scare we had. So the fire kind of got out of control. The wind picked up and we were burning this trash pile over here. The whole thing spread. So the whole field was on fire. We don't have any way to bring water over here, so we were filling up buckets and coolers and bringing it over here and pounding it out with shovels and our feet. Just me and Larry, and pouring water on it, trying to get it out. And the skid steer yesterday got a broken fuel pump, so we couldn't use that. So we had the dozer. We were just hoping and praying that it would crank, which it did, thank goodness. Couldn't use the tractor because it's got rubber tires. So we just, Larry cleared a pathway here, you know, pushed up all the grass. So, you know, we wanted to burn the field.
Not on a windy day.
Yeah, not on a windy day. Maybe it's like a blessing in disguise, so we burn half the field. But the thing about it is we didn't have any way to bring water, and that was a problem. And with the skid steer down, it just wasn't a smart thing to do, because if the dozer didn't crank, we couldn't have put this out. I mean, with shovels, it was crazy. You should have seen it was blazing, and it was coming this way really fast because the wind was just pushing it. Whew. To where the hose is, filling up I was getting these coolers and buckets trying to get the water, and you would dump a whole water bucket on the fire and nothing would happen because the wind was so strong. It's been about an hour, but we still have some water left. So now we're just managing the main trash pile over here that seems to be doing okay. But yeah, first, we're just trying to get the debris off, so that's done. Never a dull day. Just want to get these little embers out because they'll start up when the wind starts again. It died down now. It's like the fire brought the wind and now the wind's gone. It's very quiet now. It was headed down towards the end of the mountain there. It's all forest. Well, the good news is tomorrow we have 100% rain, but we also have 17-mile-an-hour winds. I don't know which is going to come first, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll get all this out tonight, and we'll stay up again tonight to make sure that's all put out. It's burning pretty quickly. It shouldn't be too long before that's all burned down.